Hey, Professor Anton, you asked a question here which was also asked in the comments section of my last video a couple of times, and because a lot of people probably have the same question, I think I'll go ahead and make a video here to answer it.
Are you really going to claim that the videos that have been most watched of yours are original? What does that even mean?
I mean, yeah, on the face of it, this is a very surprising claim, so I'm not surprised at your skepticism. But it is a claim that's backed up in data. So let me just go over to the my desktop, and I'll show you how you can prove this kind of stuff. So yeah, here we are on YouTube. This is my page here. And if you notice, I really hate the new layout that they have for this pages, by the way. It just really is not as good as the old one. But anyway, if you notice, you can go to your account, right? And there's a button here called Insight. So let's click that button. And it'll show you, right, the videos of yours that people are actually watching, right? So the last week or whatever, 2 weeks, these are the videos of mine that people are actually watching, okay? And notice you're right here on the top of the list because it's a new video here, right? So, well, let's take a look at these guys and see. The claim is that the ones that people are actually watching should be ones which are original content, ideas that I had. Okay, so let's see. The first one here gets a lot of clicks, video of a girl 3 days dead. And the reason it gets a lot of clicks is because, you know, YouTube in its infinite wisdom decided to link it up to another very popular video. But as you can see, people come, there's an attention bar here. People come and they click on it a lot, but they don't actually watch it a lot, right? Which one of my videos get the most attention, right? So like here's a candidate right here, The Legend of Immanuel Kant, right? And as you can see, it gets a lot of things. Now this is a video which I myself actually made. So, what does it mean for a movie to be original? I mean, it's what you mean in English for a movie to be original, right? I mean, so let me talk over this. I designed these costumes here. I wrote the screenplay. I wrote the dialogue that's going on here. I chose the shots. I filmed the angles. I mean, I made up the story. There's a two. I made up the metaphor of objectivists as being like Mormon missionaries and with their sacred texts and things like this. I mean, I don't know what more to say about this. I mean, this is a video that you can only see on my channel. This is my video. I made.
First off, so you're suggesting here that the people on YouTube who have the most subscriptions are providing original stuff, like original information? Is this the argument that you're going to suggest?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. But I mean, again, this isn't something which you have an opinion on, right? I mean, you can go and verify it, right? I mean, let's go back to the my desktop here, and I'll show you. So yeah, here we are back on YouTube's homepage, right? If you want to see who's the most subscribed people, right, you just go to channels, and then you go to most subscribed, and then we can say when, this month, this week, all time. Let's try most subscribed of all time, right? So here we are. These guys are the ones who are the most subscribed of all time. Now the question is, do these guys provide original content or not? I mean, well, let's just click on some of this stuff here, right? What does this guy have to say?
Official music video for my original song, Christmas Cash! So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. My mom is always...
Yeah, I mean, it's over the top. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's original. I mean, you made a request, and the other ones, let's sing us a song, dance us a dance. I mean, that's exactly what this guy is doing, right? He's singing you a song that he's the one who made it. And if you look at, all of these guys that are the most subscribed, it's true across the board. The people who are the most subscribed are the ones who give you the most original thing.
I'm skeptical of what I think you are equating a consumer model with reading model, and I'm very skeptical of the idea that you can really cultivate yourself by just hearing videos of original people saying what's originally theirs and that didn't come from some other source or something like this.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I thought that was your your metaphor and not my metaphor, but in any case, I think it's a good metaphor, and I actually want to defend it, but it's probably going to take a video on its own to defend it. But that's not exactly what I was saying. It's not like redemption's going to come by watching a lot of original videos. I mean, what's the difference really between watching a lot of original videos and watching a lot of original books, right? I mean, so as a point of departure, what I actually was saying, let me quote some more from you here.
This is freedom thing. You don't think that that's mine? The notion on electricity and electrical digital time. You don't think that that's mine? I mean, I have proprietary rights to some of this. Now I feel ridiculous defending this as originally mine. See, I feel like I'm kind of being caught here. In one sense, so much of what I'm saying is I think it's ethereal ownership, intellectual private property is dubious at best, and we live in an age of unprecedented forgetting.
I don't know exactly if I understand what your point is there, but I think I do, and here's what it is. I think you're kind of like saying is, well, my whole point is that we are social creatures, and most of what we do is dependent upon the group anyway. So why are you, you're trying to like fork me here in a certain way, right? I can't claim that my stuff is my own because my whole point that I'm trying to make is that nobody's stuff is their own. We're all just part of this group mind or whatever, right? I don't know if that's what I mean. If that's what your point is, I actually have a lot of sympathy to that viewpoint there, and I really don't want you to feel like I'm trying to fork you that way. Basically, I don't think that I wasn't suggesting that the watching of a lot of original videos was the way to salvation or whatever. What I was suggesting is that the production of a lot of original videos was the way to salvation. I mean, yeah, it's like this stuff happens in dialogue with everybody else, of course, and it's not like I mean, your last thing where you said you have a lot of books on your shelf. What you've obviously wrote a lot of books, so what the hell, right? But yeah, I mean, this stuff happens in dialogue with things, but it's not a dialogue when just one person is talking, right? And everybody else is listening, right? So you have to be in dialogue with these books, I guess. So it's we are a group, we are social animals, right? But we're not social in the same way that ants are social animals, for example. We are individuals, and we do have each individual has an individual point of view on the world. And it's in sharing these individual points of views, which is what it is. And so what I'm saying is, something which is individual to you, something which is coming from your point of view, your unique perspective on this whole passing show, right? Is what I'm talking about. This is basically, it's not just the watching of a whole bunch of videos, but I think the active act of creating new stuff is where it's at.
There's a great line that says it takes almost as much genius to understand a great idea as to create it. Yeah, that came from Alan Kay. Yeah, Alan Kay once said that. He was talking about Ford. I think it may even been Ford that he was citing. But it's funny, if you don't remember who said it, it seems like you came up with it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly part of the problem here, really. I mean, it's like I strongly disagree with the thought that, it takes as much genius to understand a great thought as it does to come up with it in the first place. I mean, like, for example, the number 0, right, is a concept that everybody can do, and not everybody's a great genius. But, coming up with the concept of 0 was an act of transcendent genius. I mean, there's probably nobody alive today who could come up with that concept, right? But yet everybody can learn it. So I think it's pretty ludicrous to state that it takes as much energy to understand something as it does to create it. And I think it's a real trap you can fall into. I mean, you read a hard book, a difficult book, at the end of which you feel like you've actually accomplished something, because you've read the book and it took a lot of effort. But I mean, what have you accomplished really? I mean, you've only done half the accomplishment. A better way of stating it is you've done half the accomplishment, right? It's not enough to participate in the dialogue. Two people have to be talking. You have to be listening, and you have to be talking. So the other half of that accomplishment is actually responding back.